So let's go from that to this, okay? Because on one conversation, you want people to be able to let the people play the game how they want to play, right? One developer's nerfing thing, and the other one's building the nerf into the actual game itself, okay? Now, I haven't read this article, but I'm assuming he's talking about, because it says skippable boss fight, and when I was playing the game, I said the combat is terrible, and then the clip said, you can skip it. And I went, holy shit, you can skip the combat in the game? And then when it was off stream, I looked at it and went, wait, you can skip the mechanic they put in the game. Like, they put fighting in the game and they went, it's so bad, you can skip it. And then when I looked at that, they actually said you can skip the boss fight. And I went, why would you play the game? Right? Think about this for a second. Why would you play the game at all if you're going to skip the boss fights, skip the combat, okay? And just play through the game. Now, I get it. If you want that experience, again, play the game how you want to play, but the developer chose to put it in the option menu to skip combat, and they worked for years or months putting combat in the game. They worked years and months to put a boss fight in the game to yet, in an option menu, skip the game. So we're going from one side of the spectrum to the other, where these guys in Expedition 33 added this ability, added these boss fights, made these things the way it is, and one was overpowered, and now they're nerfing it. And then these people literally put the nerf inside the game where they're like, hey, just play the game, buy the game, but don't actually play the game, right? And what I have a problem with here is if you're playing on your own in your house, cool. Who does it hurt that you're putting on easy mode or hard mode, or you want to skip the boss fight? There's no difference if I skip the boss fight or hand the controller to somebody else that wants to play the game next to me. If it's like my wife or my son and be like, hey, you play this. I don't want to play it, right? Technically, that's skipping the boss fight, okay? But it's still in the game and someone has to fight it. But here, you can literally just skip one half of the game. The combat and the boss fights. You can just skip it and just run around the world, just do the story. At that point, you might as well just watch a YouTube playthrough, right? You might as well just watch someone streaming it on Twitch and play the game, and you just watch the game because then you don't have to pick up the controller. Why do I need to pick up the controller to play the game, right? There should also be, I see where Mike Ibarra is coming from now. Mike Ibarra said you should be able to tip the devs. Yeah, I don't actually want to play the game. I just want to tip them because I don't actually want to play the game to play the boss fights or play the fighting game. I just want to tip. I just want to pay for something and then not play it, okay? It's kind of weird to me. Let's see what this has to say, all right? If you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5, right? Could we be about to enter the skippable boss fight utopia? South of Midnight has shown its possibility without destroying the very fabric of the universe, okay? So, in a gaming world, increasingly built out on Souls-likes, where the concept of the boss battle becomes central game mechanic, some of us have been left behind. I've always hated boss fight. If you don't like boss fight, then don't play a game with boss fight. I think I just solved the problem. Chat, right? I think I just solved the problem. Hold on, I gotta scroll up for a second. I gotta give this so Sarge can get the name of the article, the person who wrote the article, okay? Because I know he's gonna ask for it, okay? John Walker from Kotaku said, "I've always hated boss fights. Then play Madden. Play any game that doesn't have a boss fight. Play Tales of the Shire. Play an open world game where there's not really a boss fight and run away. Like, okay, I don't understand. Anyway, he says, I've always hated boss fights, and while I have no interest in convincing anyone else to agree with me, I have long lamented the lack of accommodations made for many other people who are already with me, but sniff the air of something changing. There's so much to say in this first paragraph. I don't like going to the dentist, right? I don't like going to the dentist. That's a boss fight for me. I don't like going to the dentist. Well, guess what? You don't have to go to the dentist if you don't want to go to the dentist, okay? You don't have to go to the dentist. Just don't go. Just don't play games that have boss fights. And then, ta-da, I don't like boss fights. Great, then don't play the boss fights, okay? So it says, I recently loaded South of Midnight, interested to check it out. Such a gorgeous looking game. And it was immediately delighted by the art and extraordinary performance in the cutscene. But then, as Zach warned us, I was immediately underwhelmed by the repetitive combat. Agreed. The combat in this game is horrendous. It's horrendous. They have combat zones. I would say, in all my years playing video games, they kind of added the combat at the very end. It feels like they didn't really think it through. Very simplistic, bare bones, minimal viable product as far as the combat goes. However, it says, while I'll deal fiddling through the game settings to see what was what, I saw a toggle and absolutely was not expecting. Boss skip option, okay? And I saw this, right? When the clip showed me and said that, hey, you can skip combat, and I was like, you can skip the combat? And I thought he was joking. on stream. Then at the end of the stream, I went to the options. I went, oh, you can. And then I saw this, and I was like, wait, you could skip the boss fight? Okay. In 2017, John Walker here says, I wrote one of the most controversial articles of my career, a piece for which I received literal death threats alongside hundreds of more banal insults, my imminent demise, as someone is also battle-hardened by Gamergate. Okay, oh, he's got to bring up Gamergate. It takes quite a bit for the scale of a backlash to take me by surprise. And while I knew it would also piss some people off, I didn't predict the volume. I wrote an article suggesting that boss fights should be skippable. Yeah, that's stupid. That's stupid, right? Because sure, should you, and I'm not gatekeeping here. Okay? There's a difference between nerfing something and skipping something, okay? A video game literally has options. Easy, medium, hard, unless you're playing a Dark Souls game, okay? Unless you're playing a Dark Souls game. Now, I don't know, they don't show it here in here, but there is a easy mode. So if you hated boss fight and you can't beat it on the easiest mode possible, I don't know what to tell you. That's not gatekeeping. That's the artist decided that they wanted to make a game, sell a game, and they put that game out there with boss fights in the mechanics and the fighting in the mechanic. Now, easy difficulty makes it super easy where you tap someone, you blow on them, they fall over, and they're done, okay? But to say you want to skip the boss fights, just lower the difficulty. Lower the difficulty, okay? There are so many games that I've never seen the end of. We can all relate to that because of the backlog of stuff, but I think he's saying that he's never seen the end because he doesn't like boss fight, okay? So he says, there are so many games I've never seen the end of, but for YouTube, I suppose, because I just wasn't physically capable of completing the later bosses. I've never finished Metroid Prime game. For instance, despite it being one of my all-time favorite game series, there are other games I've been also enjoying so much that just had to abandon because every so often there will be a difficulty spike that's such enormous disproportion that eventually I lose all and will to try. So there you go, right? There you go. So this guy would really love Expedition 33 if they kept the 4 billion damage in there, because it's just too difficult for him to fight boss. So obviously, I don't think you're going to see a review from John Walker here from Kotaku playing Expedition 33, because there's just bosses galore in that game. Okay. He says, there are obviously a billion boss fights I've successfully completed, but almost none of them have been as vaguely enjoyed. Okay. For me, and millions of others, there are mostly tedious obstacles that get in the way of enjoying the rest of the game. What are we talking about? Wait, I'm sorry.
It's one of the most insane idiotics I have ever. No point in your rambling, coherent response were you close to any that considered a red thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having. I award you no point, and may God.
What are we talking about, chat? What are we talking about? Millions of others, that mostly tedious obstacle. Think about this for a second. Oh man. I would love to play Madden football, but I really just want to score touchdowns all the time. I don't really like playing the hike the ball and throwing it and running with it. I wish I could just score touchdown, with this tedious obstacles in my way of hiking the ball and passing it or throwing it. I would love to play Minecraft, but this tedious thing of, cutting down trees so I could build something. Oh, you mean just play creative mode? Like, I am so confused right now. I'm so confused right now. Okay. So it struck me, why not just let the skip past them? Who loses out? Again, at this point, if you're going to buy a game, but you don't want to play the game, at that point, then just buy the game and put it to the side and watch it on YouTube. Now, I totally get, they want even more, right? So they're not asking for a less difficulty slider. They're asking just to skip the game. There's already a thing in the game for most games where if it's too hard on normal, drop it down to easy, right? If you don't like easy, there's like a beginner level for a lot of games, okay? But they're saying, I don't have a time to even push the button to fight the guy to hit him 3 times. I have to just skip it. It's so tedious, right? I don't understand. The dude says, buy a game and skip a game. John Walker. Okay, so who loses out? Well, it turns out the answer to that question is in 2017 was very angry people, for a reason never quite comprehensively included that being able to carry on playing a game I like without finishing a specific fight because the game is personal injury. To skip over a boss is, or to skip over a boss is, and I told both of moral and physical affront that the addition of such an option would very likely destroy video games, if not all society. Okay, this is the main crux of the reason why people in Dark Souls games don't want a slider or difficulty setting, because people that like playing those games like to try to push themselves, right? I know a lot of people don't understand this type of thing. I understand it's a video game, okay? It's just a video game. It's just food. It's just weightlifting. It's just driving a car, right? When you break something down to the bare bones, it's just whatever, right? But if you want to get up in the morning and you want to work out, it's hard. It's real easy to just work out, but it's hard to make yourself work out. But if you push yourself and you lift a weight, let's say of like 80 pounds, and then you're like, you know what? I'm going to try to go for 100. And then you lift 100 pounds. You'll look at the 150-pound weight on the ground. You're like, I'd just rather not do that. You know, like people that like to play Dark Souls games go, I got my ass kicked. I'm going to try to lift that. I'm going to try to beat that. I'm going to try to do this and see if I can do it. And then once they beat it, they want to see if they can beat it faster, right? They want to see if they can beat it with more damage. Okay. I totally get that there's other people that don't want to do that type of stuff, which is fine. Hence why the Dark Souls audience as a whole is much smaller in the video game space than other games where it's much more approachable for things, right? But Dark Souls players don't want a easy, medium, or hard, because if it's there, they would be tempted to use it. Where if they use the difficulty slider, they'd be like, I can't beat this boss. You know what? I'm going to drop it down a little. They would use it if it was there because it's there, okay? And that's why they don't want it there, because they don't get to push themselves at that point. This is just ridiculous, because you're asking the developers to be like, yeah, we put this mechanic in the game, okay? And you can skip it. You can skip one half the game, which is combat and then the boss fights, which is two parts, right? The combat just normally and then the boss fight. On top of that, when you're playing a game like this, you're just completely missing the point of what it is, where, yes, who does it hurt? It's a single-player game. We were just talking about who does it hurt in a single-player game where they're nerfing the damage. Don't touch a game if it's single-player. This is a single player. There's already difficulty sliders in there. But now you're saying you don't like boss fights. You personally don't like boss fights. So they're cutting off the game. They're gatekeeping. The developers are gatekeeping me from playing this boss fight, and I can't get past this boss fight because it's just too hard. Lower the difficulty. Easy is easy for a reason. If you can't beat a game on easy, I'm sorry, right? I think my dog could beat easy on some game, right? He could just sit there with his paw and like chew with his face, you know what I mean? Like rub his face against the thing and he could pass an easy thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a gatekeeper. Maybe I'm being vicious and mean, okay? To skip over bosses, I was told both moral and physical of society. And yet, in the month since South of Midnight released, I have yet to witness a collapse of humanity. In fact, I've heard only a very few people talk about it, okay? Yeah, in general, not many people talked about South of Midnight, okay? This is not very first time a game has offered a way past tough spots. A fair few big name of games had the option to let people skip entire missions should they fail them enough. Red Dead Redemption 2, Days Gone, for instance, while many others will offer a lower the difficulty if you're failing, right? If you can't beat it on normal, and they're like, this guy's struggling, they automatically lowered it for you so you can get past. But it's still, very rare. And South of Midnight is the only instance specifically being able to skip the boss that I'm aware of. Let me know if there's other examples, okay? In the end, it harms no one. Not even the guy, Dave, who also one who still ironically says get good, okay? It just lets more people play more games the way they want to. And I get behind let them play how they want to. But there's literally easy, medium, hard, master, exotic, whatever. There's different game modes. And if you're playing on the lowest game mode and you can't do it, man, I'm telling you, maybe find a different hobby. Like maybe like play chess. Chess is hard, right? If you don't understand chess, be like, you know what? All these obstacles in the way. I just want to win the game. I just want to checkmate. Can we just get rid of every other piece on the board? I don't really want to do this whole thing here. I just want to do king, queen. Let's see who gets it first, right? It's like, okay, cool. But you know what is used to commonplace? It's incredibly rare that the game didn't ship with a suit of hidden cheat code. You'll find them in the next edition of your favorite gaming magazine, and also the type of them and also become invincible or having infinite ammo. Perfect example. I was just talking about SimCity, right? And the blitz through the bosses, and that was also troubling you. And yet the schools remained open. The supermarket still had toilet paper on sale, and everything was still okay. If anything, is not being able to cheat past an impossible boss is a crime against nature. Okay, I'm fairly certain that these appeared in South of Midnight as a consideration for accessibility, and that's wonderful. It's worth noting that the game even lets you skip combat, although given how dull it is, it seems to fix another issue entirely. In the last few years, you've also seen dramatic changes in how the AAA games are also being made. With the needs of players up front and center, few big names in games launch these days without offering a wealth of incredible specific options, allowing people to tailor the games to specific requirements, which is all well and good until you reach the difficult spike boss fight, in which all such amenities seem to get thrown out the window, or just lower the difficulty. He's speaking of this like there's no other difficulty level inside this, or you're good enough that this is a bit, no matter what specific situation you're done playing, okay? But could South of Midnight be the start of a trend? God, I hope not. God, I hope not. And no, it says Dave, I won't mean that demanding of the Souls-like games in which the entire point of the mastery of the techniques required for all 8 trillion bosses, all that you skip over every moment. I mean, it did brilliant if they did, but I love to explore the lands. God. Oh my God. So you just want to play Dark Souls, but you just want to walk around. You just want to walk around. You don't want to play any boss fights. He wants to play Souls, but doesn't want to play the boss fights. He just wants to walk around the world. I got an option for you, John. Mr. Walker. An option is go to YouTube and just watch someone play Dark Souls. That way they can just walk around and you go, oh, that's pretty nice. That's pretty, like, what are we talking about? Because the place looks amazing, it's not for all immediate death. As games supply copies of one another, accessibility options, we could start to see a boss fight skip become standard. If there's difficulty. You can lower. Does he not know that you can lower difficulty? It's an impossible thing to believe in because they never allowed nice things. The gatekeeping around the topic is about fierce as anything gets is its hobby. So many Daves horrified that others might enjoy part of the game for which they have not demonstrated their worth. Okay, but still, allow myself a glimmer to stare through the crack of the wall of South of Midnight has offered a beautiful sunlit field beyond. You can literally pick easy mode. I don't understand the logic here, right? You can skip boss fights. I think the reason they skip boss fights, this is my opinion and my why I think you were able to skip boss fights, because the fighting mechanics are garbage. Okay, the developers knew that they had shit combat in the game. It's terrible. Okay, and they said, well, how do we fix it? And they said, well, we don't have time to fix it. So what about if we just let them skip the fight? I truly believe that's what it is, okay? Do I believe there should be a standard where you're playing Destiny, the next Destiny, or Division? Now, obviously, there's a PvP game, PvE, co-op games, but you're like, you know what? I don't want to play this boss fight. I'm going to skip it. I want the rewards from the boss fight, but I don't actually want to fight the boss. God, I hope not. God, I hope not, okay? Here's another problem I have with this scenario that this person, John Walker, wrote from Kotaku, okay? If you're a game journalist and your job, now he's not reviewing the game, but if you're a game journalist and you're reviewing a game and you decide to play the game and review it but not play one half of the game, then I don't want to hear from you because you didn't play the fucking game. You didn't play the game. Now, if you wanted to play the game, right? If you wanted to play the game on its difficulty and then play it where you skip the boss fights and say, hey, I played South of Midnight. It's a really good game, and the gameplay, is decent. The mechanics of the fighting is not so good. I played through the whole thing, beating the thing, but there's also an option where you can play and then tell me about the combat, right? But you give me a story, and again, John Walker didn't do this. I don't know if he did a review, but if you're a journalist writing reviews for a game and you don't play a certain part of the game, then you have no business being a reviewer of a game. Because if you're going to review the game, you got to review all aspects of the game. But if you're not a reviewer, then just sit out, because then you're not a reviewer of the game. Hence why I don't do reviews. I give you my thoughts and opinions on it, but I don't give you a review and give scores. I just tell you, hey, I like this game. This is what I liked about it. This is what I didn't like about it. Okay, you can call that a review, but I'm just giving you my thoughts on the game. Okay, you make your own decision if you like the game or not. But to say that you want to skip boss fight, pick a game, guys. Pick any game. Mario, the original Mario. Man, I wish I could just skip Bowser. You could just leap over him, hit the button, and the bridge opens up, and then he falls into the lava. Or you could step on him. Hit him on the head, right? You decide. But to say, it's just too much. I just wish you could just skip the whole thing. I wish I could just not run through the board. I wish you could just skip it. It's just unnecessary to run, left to right. It's just not necessary to hit a block to get the mushroom to make me bigger, or hit a mushroom to get the flower so I can shoot at people. It's just not necessary, right? Pac-Man. Why play the game to collect the pills so I can eat the ghost to get to the next level? Can I just skip the level to get to the next level? I really want to see the third level. I've never seen the third level because I suck at the game, and I've never seen the third level. Like Tetris, is it possible they could just give me the blocks in one giant lump so it can complete itself? I wish I could just skip the blocks falling from the thing because, it's the boss fight, and the boss fight trying to make the lines is just too difficult. Like, where does it end? Make it more accessible. Don't ever try to make yourself better, right? There's people with one arm playing video games that look at this guy and go, what is he talking about, right? There's people that literally play with their mouth or their brain. Like they hook up something to their brain and they're just playing games with their mind and thoughts, right? And this guy has issues playing a game. He just wants to skip boss fights. I don't know, man. I just think this is a slippery slope to go down, just like nerfing games on a single-player game. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. This is amazing. This is amazing, chat. My brain hurts. For a split second there, I wanted to just stop. I was like, this guy, my brain hurts. I just want to walk away. Let me scroll back up and see what you guys are saying. Eclipse says, no, you're right, 30. I've played soccer on a crappy soccer team for 5 years. You know how many trophies we got? One, because we actually had a winning record one time. Sarge says, oh no, Waterbear says, or Shadows Elden Tree asked if you wanted to skip fighting the shadow of the fucking Elden Tree boss. It's just weird. Roic says, the last Epoch does this without telling you. If you do the map, and you have to do an objective three times, and you die, when you redo it, you may only have to do it twice the next time and then to one. Right, so it says like, all right, this is how it's meant to be played. This guy's struggling. Let's lower the difficulty a little bit, right? The dude says the boss fights that don't kill you only make you stronger. Actually, I think you have something there, dude. What about if a boss fight, instead of skipping the boss fight, the boss does no damage to me? I only do damage to the boss. That way I feel like I've accomplished something. I mean, there's a mod like that if you want to do the install the mod. Dark Souls only walk around. Yeah, he just wants to walk around. Can someone take the word processor away from this guy? Because what the fuck? Why are we allowed this guy to work for your company? That's right. Kotaku will close down soon. What's the hell the point of playing Dark Souls if you're skipping the boss fight? So you can look at the scenery. He said it, Eclipse. Yeah, he just wants to walk around and see the scenery. Sarge says, just change professions, please. You are not benefiting yourself nor anyone else with your rambling of things you don't understand at all. Nate says, the way the games cost now, I'm not skipping anything. I start on normal and keep getting best. I put it on easy. That's exactly right, Nate. Like, if it's too hard, you start on easy. If it's too easy, then you go up to normal. If it's normal's too easy, then you move up to the hardest difficulty. Z says 30. Dark Souls Flight Simulator. The guy probably doesn't even play Flight Simulator because he can't get off the ground. He's just like, can I just start in the air? I mean, obviously you can do that. But he's just like, can I just skip taking off? I don't want to land either. I just want to fly, which you can do in Flight Sim. I'm just making a joke. It's like, I'm playing a racing car game. Can I just not race? I just want to sit in the car. I just want to look at the interiors. Can I just look at the interiors in the car? I actually don't want to drive. Quintar says, don't buy it. If you don't like it, answer solved. Nah, you're gatekeeping, Quintar. Gatekeeping. Yeah. Z says, now I'm interested in game with shit gameplay. Still needs copium and how to skip stuff. Amazing. I say things to make your head hurt. John Walker. Travis says, 30, I could have Indiana Jones put with no puzzles. Because, it's not archaeologists as anything. It's what the fuck is this idiot saying? Yeah, like, Indiana Jones would be so much better if you didn't punch anybody. I just want to walk around. As an example, the goalpost would also be on fire. Pool of lava on the sign that says, come at me, bro. Oh, my God. There are people with no arms playing video games. Fuck this guy. That's what I'm saying. There's literally people with no appendages, no hand, and they're playing game, and they're not bitching. Yeah, playing games with their feet. The dude says, skip anything that makes me think, anything that requires some amount of skill. Hell, skip it all. Yeah. You know what? I don't even want to go buy the game. I just wish it was delivered to me. Delivered to me without it. It's too hard to put the credit card in, right? Oh, God. Can we just skip that? I just want to say it out loud. Can I buy this? He just shows up. Oh, wait. That can happen. I wonder if this guy will play Doom Dark Ages in a few days. Probably. But will only play the first level. Well, I would assume that he doesn't understand there's like easy, medium, hard. And easy is too hard for him. Luke says, what's going on, Luke? Can I play FIFA with not kicking the ball? I mean, if you just want to walk around and look at the sights and sounds, you're like, I don't want all these obstacles in the way of playing soccer. I just want to get in the stadium and just look around the stadium, which you could do. Pause the game, take the camera, and just go around. I mean, if that's what you want to do, cool. Z says, why is there a time limit on the races? Can't I just get number one every time? Easy mode. He brings up cheat code. But he doesn't understand that most cheat codes back in the day were third-party, separate, standalone type of thing that you put into the thing, or the devs put it in there to make you feel more overpowered or whatever, so you didn't have to play the game, which is fine. But to ask to skip the game, like within the game itself, to skip is just weird. Because again, you could break it down to anything, like we just did. You could skip anything. It's just too hard. 30 could make a series on shows on how this guy. He's a gift that keeps on giving. That is true. We could do that. I hit the skip a life button. Woke up in the dumpster fire. Mo says, Mike, why are you screaming? There's a Turtles game dropped in Game Pass. Yeah, that's it was the mutants one. I thought it was the other one that was a roguelike. I saw it, was it Mutant Mayhem? It was based on the movie. There was a kid in high school that played PSP and he was paralyzed on half of his body. He played FPS with his chin and other hand. And I bet you his kill death ratio was better than this guy. It's the John Walker buckle up kid. I mean, I think John Walker just earned himself. A song. We might have to make a song about John Walker and the difficulty of skippable game. We might have to do that. If a guy can beat Elden Ring with his mouth and or feet, everyone else is not disabled, can beat it without an easy mode. Devs, we took this all time making this game, but you can just turn on and skip the options and not play the game and give us your money, please. Yeah, that's exactly right, Roic. And look, I understand. Again, my opinion on South of Midnight is that they realized that their gameplay mechanic for fighting was bad, and they said, what if we got to ship it out? What if we just put a skip boss fight? I haven't even got to a boss fight, like a big boss fight yet, inside the game. I stopped playing the game because the combat was so bad. And I know people are like, well, you could just skip the combat. And I'm like, I don't want to skip the combat. I don't want to play the game because the combat is so bad, I don't want to play it. I'm just going to stop playing the game. Now, obviously, if I paid for the game, I would still play the game. But I didn't buy the game because it's on Game Pass. I mean, with a name like John Walker, I think I had to make the song into a country song, right? Got to make it a country song. Every time we lower the difficulty on the game, we'll call it, you did a John Walker. Sarge says he John Walkered it. I think this is going to stick. Yeah, this is going to stick. It's not called the Urinalist anymore. It's called, did you John Walker it? Eclipse says, I beat South of Midnight. It was a great story, but the combat made me want to stop playing it. It did make me stop playing. If I'm going to stop playing the game and skip the boss fights and skip the combat, then I'll just watch the story on YouTube. But I don't care. I don't care that much for it. Luke says all games are immersive entertainment. But if you don't want to do anything in the game, just wait for the TV show to come out. Right? Or just watch a playthrough on YouTube. We're not big enough to make him go famous, Sarge. If someone like Asmongold did this, then 100%. Kylo says, watching 30 from the plane. Officially joined the Mile 30 Club. Oh, nice. We're up in the airplane. I think South of Midnight's different is easy $40 story-oriented game, but to say Elden Ring should have the same thing is crazy. I just think if South of Midnight could have easily not put combat in the game, but they did put combat in the game, and that was their choice, right? That was their choice. Quintar says, Texas Ranger Walker here. Nah, dude. Hitting the skip button. Peace. Safety restore. Dude comes out in less than that's funny. That's funny, Mo. Doom comes out in less than a Concord. That's... You got 5 points for that. Less than a Concord it comes out. That's good, Mo. It's like Concord is now like Fortnite. Like, not Fortnite the video game. A Fortnite is 14 days, right? You've just created the Concord, which is 12 days. It's not quite a Fortnite. It's not quite a Fortnite Concord, right? Fortnite's 14 days? I think Fortnite's 14 days. Luke says John Skipwalk. Eclipse says, yeah, it's a very good platformer. Did not need combat. Right. The platformer moving around was fantastic. I don't think you need combat in the game. Obviously, there was no combat. There was just designated areas for combat. Dolphin says John Walker something tractor something lazy something whiskey. Oh, are you giving me ideas for the actual song, Dolphin? You know what? I'm not gonna do a song. I'm just gonna skip it. It's just too hard to do a song. I'm not going to do a song. I'm just going to skip it. Kids have no idea what a fortnight is? I think it's 20 days. Is it 20 days? I think 14 days. A fortnight is a unit of time equal to 14 days. 2 weeks. 14 days. That's a good one. Was a good one too, Mike? Which one? What was good too? The name is John Walker. And he took his last name to heart to the point he just wants to walk in games. Yeah, Luke says 14 days. Quintar says, hit that skip button. I mean, wait. The like button. Yeah, you know what? It's just the obstacles there. Don't hit the like button. It's just too difficult. Just skip over it. Don't even hit the like button. Robert Jones says 2 Fortnite and a Concord. 2 fortnights would be 28 days, right? It'd be a fortnight and a Concord. We're going to use that as a time of measurement. It's a Concord. Was that 12 days? It's just 2 days less than a fortnight. All right, next story. Travis says 30, real talk. At least walking to Indiana Jones is gorgeous. This guy thinks that walking in Texas is cool. That's dumb. Concord is 12 days. A Concord is 12 days, Sarge. It's 2 days shorter than a fortnight. That's how many days it was out. Insert Abraham Lincoln's. How long is Redfall? Redfall is still out. Like, you can still buy and play Redfall, Travis. Your joke is not landing because you can still play the game. The game lasted a year. They supported it a year as far as putting content and stuff in it, and then you could still play it. See, the funny part is, because you're a PlayStation guy and Concord is on PlayStation and it only lasted 12 days, you're trying to make a comparison to an Xbox game, and the Xbox game is still out, which just completely falls flat in your joke, right? So think about how bad Concord is, that Redfall made it through development, launched, broke, buggy, unfinished. No one played it. It lasted a year, past a year, and Concord lasted 12 days. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Redfall is still here, and Concord was gone in 12 days. 12 days. It's going to take a lot to dethrone. I'm not going to say it's never going to happen, all right? Never going to happen, but it's going to take a lot for a game to come out and be less than 12 days.